1 in 8,192. That's your odds every single encounter. No shiny charm, no Masuda method, no chaining, no boosted odds of any kind. Just you, the tall grass, and pure unfiltered luck. Welcome to shiny hunting in Pokemon FireRed and Leaf Green, where shinies are earned. And with these games having just dropped on the Nintendo Switch, an entire generation of trainers is about to experience full odds shiny hunting for the first time. Whether you're a veteran who wore out your GBA shoulder button soft resetting for shiny Mewtwo, or a newer fan who's never hunted without a shiny charm, this is the definitive guide. I'm gonna break down every method, every target, the Illuminate Staryu strategy that doubles your encounter rate, the hunts that'll make the best content, and critical Switch-specific tips that could save you your shiny. So let's get into it. If you're going shiny hunting in FireRed and Leaf Green, this is the video that you need to watch. And if you love shinies like I do, you should check out my awesome clothing line, TeamShiny.com, where you can pick up amazing Team Shiny shirts for all of your favorite shinies right in the description below. So head to TeamShiny.com and deck out your wardrobe with our amazing new designs. First, let's talk numbers, because this is the most important thing to understand. In FireRed and Leaf Green, the base shiny rate is 1 in 8,192. That's it, that's the number. It applies to everything. Wild encounters, legendaries, starters, gift Pokemon, eggs. Every single Pokemon you encounter has a 0.012 chance of being shiny. For context, in modern games like Scarlet and Violet, the base rate is 1 in 4096. Already double the chance. Add a shiny charm in and you're at 1 in 1365. You throw some sandwiches in there and some outbreaks and you can get to like 1 in 200. In FireRed Leaf Green, you get none of that. Zero. There is no shiny charm. That wasn't introduced until Gen 5. There's also no Masuda method. That came in Gen 4. There's no chaining or Poke Radar or mass outbreaks or sandwich powers. The odds never change. Every encounter is a fresh 1 in 8,192 roll of the dice. Statistically, you'd expect to encounter a shiny roughly every 8,000 encounters, but that's an average. Some hunters find theirs in 200, some go 20,000 dry. Probability doesn't have a memory. Your 10,000th encounter has the exact same odds as your first. This is old school shiny hunting, the way it was meant to be. And honestly, that's what makes finding one so dang special. There are 4 core methods for shiny hunting in FireRed Leaf Green. Let me break down each one. The bread and butter. You walk through the grass, you surf on the water, you explore caves. Every wild encounter is a shiny check. This is how you'll hunt for the vast majority of wild Pokemon. Pro tip number 1 is using a Pokemon with the ability Runaway in your lead slot. Pokemon like Rattata, Raticate, Doduo, and Dodrio have Runaway, which guarantee you can flee from any wild encounter instantly. No failed flee attempts and wasting time. In a hunt where you need thousands of encounters, shaving 2 seconds off each one adds up to hours saved. Pro tip number 2, and this is a big one, is to use Illuminate. A Pokemon with Illuminate ability in the first slot of your party doubles the wild encounter rate. I know I just told you to use Runaway, but Illuminate is better once you have access to it. Instead of taking 5 to 10 steps between encounters, you'll get an encounter every 3 to 5 steps. This doesn't change your shiny odds, it's still 1 in 8,192, but it dramatically increases how many encounters you get per hour, which is mega huge. The best Illuminate user in FireRed Leaf Green is none other than Staryu. Staryu has Illuminate as one of its abilities, and here's the kicker. It works even if Staryu is actually fainted. So you can put the fainted Illuminate Staryu in slot 1 and your actual battle Pokemon in slot 2. I cannot emphasize Illuminate enough, but there's a critical note. Staryu is a Leaf Green exclusive, and you can't catch Staryu in FireRed. In Leaf Green, you fish for it with a Super Rod at Pallet Town, Vermilion City, Cinnabar Island, or One Island. If you're on FireRed, your Illuminate options are limited. You need to trade one over. Chinchou and Lantern also have Illuminate, but they're found in certain Sevi Islands fishing spots, but that's post-game. So if you want to hunt during the main game, you're going to want to trade someone for a Staryu. Soft resetting is for Pokemon that are generated at a specific moment. Starters, legendaries, gift Pokemon, and game corner prizes. You save right before receiving or encountering the Pokemon, check if it's shiny, and if it's not, reset the game and try again. Now, originally, we were thinking this wasn't going to be possible on the Nintendo Switch. However, an awesome user online has already discovered that you do have the ability to press A plus B plus start and select simultaneously on your Nintendo Switch in order to soft reset your game and be able to hunt and encounter these static Pokemon once again, saving a tremendous amount of time. Typically, a soft reset would be expected to take about 15 to 20 seconds. We were thinking that on the Switch it was going to be 30 to 45 seconds to reset the whole game, but fortunately this huge quality of life feature does seem to be added in. One huge advantage FireRed+Leafgreen has though, unlike Emerald, where the initial seed is broken and always starts at the same value, FireRed+Leafgreen generates a genuinely random new seed every time you power on. This means every soft reset is a truly independent shiny roll. In Emerald, certain TID, SID combinations can make specific shinies literally impossible through soft resets, but that's not an issue in FireRed+Leafgreen. Every reset is fair game. Breeding is available in FireRed+Leafgreen, but with two massive caveats. First, it's post-game only. The daycare that accepts 2 Pokemon is on 4 Island in the Sevi Islands, which you can't access until you beat the Elite Four and get a National Dex. Second, and this is a crusher, the Masuda method doesn't exist yet. Breeding with a foreign language Pokemon gives you 0 bonus in Gen 3, so your egg odds are always the same 1 in 8192. Breeding is technically an option, but it's extremely slow because you have to hatch every egg individually, and each egg cycle takes a lot of steps. Breeding really only makes sense if you want a shiny of a Pokemon that's really hard to encounter in the wild, or if you want to be able to control the species without worrying about random encounter tables. Let's go back and talk a little bit deeper about the Illuminate strategy, because this is the single biggest efficiency tool that you have available to you. Illuminate doubles your encounter rate when the Pokemon with the Illuminate ability is in the first slot of your party. And we already confirmed that it works this way even if the Pokemon is fainted. Here's the math that matters. Let's say in a given area you average about 90 to 100 wild encounters per hour at normal rates. With Illuminate, that jumps to 180 to 200 encounters per hour. At a 1 in 8,192 odds, without Illuminate, that's roughly 80 to 90 hours. But with it, it's 40 to 45 hours. You're cutting your expected hunt time nearly in half. This is massive. That's the difference between a 2-week hunt and a 1-week hunt. As I mentioned, Staryu is only available in Leaf Green, so if you're doing a shiny badge quest, I would recommend grabbing that or being prepared to trade. You'll have the option to get Chinchou in post-game either way. Now let's do a complete list of every Pokemon that you can soft reset for in Fire Red and Leaf Green. You want to save your game right before obtaining each one, get it, check if it's shiny, and reset if it's not. Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. That's right, all 3 of the starters can be hunted. You'll save right before you're selecting your starter, you'll pick the ball, a short scene plays, and you can check the Pokemon summary to see if it's shiny. In Gen 3, the Shiny Sparkle plays when the Pokemon enters battle for the first time, but you can see all the alternative coloring in the summary screen. Shiny Charmander into Black Charizard is the iconic hunt. It's what most people will go for, and it's honestly top tier. Shiny Bulbasaur is a deeper green, and Shiny Squirtle has a lighter blue shell with a green tint. I'm a big fan of all 3 of the starters. It's important to note that the starter's shininess is determined the moment you pick up the Pokeball, not when you first see it, so you do need to fully reset each time and not just walk away and come back. The legendary birds, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. You'll simply save directly in front of each of them, press A to interact, the battle will start, and you'll either see the Shiny Sparkle or not. These are classic, prestigious hunts. Shout out to that time when I got a Shiny Articuno on my first encounter. I hope you guys all have that luck. The crown jewel, of course, is Shiny Mewtwo. In Gen 3, a vivid green color, it's absolutely stunning. Save in Cerulean Cave directly in front of the Mewtwo. This is a post-game hunt. You'll need to beat the Elite Four and complete the Sevi Islands quest first. Mewtwo is arguably the top tier shiny to go for in Fire Red Leaf Green, so if you're only going to do one soft reset, I would make it this one, or a starter, but then you don't get to play the game until you find it. There's a list of gift Pokemon that you can also shiny hunt. Some of these are real gems. Eevee at the Celadon City rooftop, you'll be able to get a shiny Eevee which is silver or white. Just make sure you choose your evolution carefully as you can't undo it, and there's only one Eevee per save file unless you're breeding. There's no Espeon or Umbreon in Fire Red Leaf Green since there's no day-night cycle, which is brutal. Otherwise, I would totally hunt for Umbreon. Lapras at the 7th floor of the Silphco is gifted by an MTC after clearing the building. Shiny Lapras is purple, it's pretty sweet. Magikarp on the Route 4 Pokemon Center you can buy for 500 bucks, and it can be shiny. This is a really fun hunt in an early game where you save before the guy, you give him the money, he gives you the Magikarp, and you check it. Hitmonlee or Hitmonchan in the Saffron City Fighting Dojo, you can pick one after the Dojo Master and simply save before choosing. The Togepi egg given at the Water Labyrinth in the Sevi Islands, an old man will give you the egg, and the shininess is determined when the egg is generated, not when it hatches. So you do have to save before you receive the egg, hatch it, check, and then reset. It's a really slow hunt though. Ammonite and Kabuto can also be revived from your chosen fossil at the Cinnabar Island lab. Save before talking to the scientists to receive your revived fossil Pokemon. The fossils are determined when they're revived, not when you obtain the fossil in the early part of the game, so you don't have to go all the way back to Mount Moon to do this one over. Now this next part is where things get really interesting, because every Pokemon purchased at the Celadon Game Corner can be shiny. So save before buying, purchase the Pokemon, check it, and soft reset if it's not shiny. Abra, Clefairy, Dratini, Scyther, and Porygon round out your Fire Red options, while Clefairy, Abra, Dratini, Pinsir, and Porygon round out your Leaf Green options. In Fire Red Leaf Green, the Game Corner is the only way to get Porygon. You can't catch it in the wild, so if you want to get a shiny Gen 3 Porygon, this is a cool way to do it. There's also some stationary encounters that you can hunt for. Snorlax, there's 2 of those on Route 12 and 16. You can also do Electrode in the Power Plant, and then there's a Berry Forest on 3 Island with a Hypno. Now, if you really want to challenge yourself, the hardest hunt in Fire Red Leaf Green is ultimately the legendary dogs, Entei, Raikou, and Suicune. After beating the Elite Four and obtaining the National Dex, one of your 3 legendary beasts begin roaming Kanto. The one you get depends on your starter, so Bulbasaur will get you Entei, Charmander will get you Suicune, and Squirtle will get you Raikou. The beast's shininess is determined the moment it's released into the wild, when the cutscene plays after you talk to Bill on one island. If you want a shiny roaming beast, you need to save before triggering that cutscene. Let the beast release, then find it and check it. If it's not shiny, reset and re-trigger the release. Here's what makes this hunt so brutal. First, you gotta find it. The beast roams randomly across Kanto, changing location every time. You can use the classic repel trick and put a Pokemon at level 49 or 50 in your lead slot, use a max repel and walk in the grass in an area where the Pokemon are below that level. It's gonna block everything but the roaming beast, which is level 50, run between 2 adjacent routes like Celadon and Route 7, using those repels and continue to check the grass. Worth noting that Entei and Raikou know Roar, and if they use it, they flee the battle permanently. Not temporarily, permanently. Your legendary is gone forever. This is one of the most brutal mechanics in all of Pokemon, so save before every single encounter with a roaming beast. Unless you're checking for the shiny initially. Worth noting, Suicune does not know Roar, so Charmander is the safest one for this hunt. For the people out there that do choose to hunt this one, a ton of props to you because this is brutal. Now that's pretty tough, but I have to be honest with you, shiny hunting in the Safari Zone is simply emotional pain. The Safari Zone has exclusive Pokemon you can't find anywhere else in the game. Chansey, Kangaskhan, Tauros, Scyther, or Pinsir in Leaf Green, Dratini, Dragonair, Execute, Rhyhorn, and many more. Some of these are already rare encounters. Combine that with the 1 in 8192 shiny odds, and you're looking at tens of thousands encounters to see one shiny. But here's the real problem. You cannot use regular Pokeballs. You get 30 Safari Balls per entry, and you can only throw Safari Balls, bait, or rocks. You can't weaken the Pokemon. You can't put it to sleep, and the Pokemon can flee at any time. Every turn starts with a flee check. So picture this, you've been running through the Safari Zone for days, hours of encounters, and then it happens. A shiny Chansey appears. Your heart is pounding. You throw a Safari Ball. It shakes once, it shakes twice. The wild Chansey fled. That's a scenario that's happened to real shiny hunters. A shiny Chansey in the Fire Red Leaf Green Safari Zone is considered one of the hardest catches in the entire franchise. There is no counterplay for a flea. You have to pray. If you're brave enough to hunt here, the bait strategy can help with certain species. For Chansey specifically, throwing 2 baits actually increases its catch rate due to a quirk in the Safari Zone math. Its catch rate gets floored at a minimum that's higher than its base rate, but the flea rate risk is always there. My honest advice, hunt Safari Zone species through breeding on 4 Island if possible. It's slower per encounter, but at least you don't lose a shiny to a flea. Now here's something the entire community is buzzing about. Deoxys is obtainable in Fire Red Leaf Green on Birth Island, accessible via the Aurora ticket, which was originally an event exclusive item. Ho-Oh and Lugia are similarly on Naval Rock, accessed via the Mystic ticket. After entering the Hall of Fame in Pokemon Fire and Red, you are given the Aurora ticket and the Mystic ticket. These 2 key items show up in your bag and they allow you to access massive events in Fire Red and Leaf Green. The Aurora ticket will allow you to access Deoxys, which allows you to soft reset for this incredible mythical Pokemon. This is most certainly the most anticipated shiny hunt of the Fire Red Leaf Green Switch ports. Deoxys appears at level 30 on Birth Island. In Fire Red, it's the attack form, and Leaf Green, the defense form. Save before interacting with the red triangle, solve the puzzle, and the encounter begins. 1 in 8,192 odds. The Mystic ticket will give you access to Naval Rock, one of the Sevi Islands. At Naval Rock, you'll be able to encounter both Lugia and Ho-Oh in both Fire Red and Leaf Green, and be able to soft reset shiny hunt these 2 legendary Pokemon. I'm gonna hit you with a couple quick tips that are worth noting for the Nintendo Switch. There's no save states and no rewinds. You can't do any of that stuff, so just be mindful of that. There's no autosave, there's no cloud saves. There's local wireless for trading, so you can't get that Staryu easily unless you know someone else who has a Switch in person. Pokemon Home support is coming soon. It's not going to be available at launch, so I think having FireRed+Leafgreen shinies will have some cool value. And of course, the game corner is in the game, and it's a great way to get shinies in this one. There you have it, the full comprehensive guide for shiny hunting in Pokemon FireRed and Leaf Green. Let me know what shiny you guys are going for first in the comments down below. Oh, and don't forget to go to TeamShiny.com and pick up some sweet brand new Team Shiny merch.